Let's say we want to apply a custom function to our PyKX object. And we can do that with the .apply method. So say we want to create a custom function. We can define whatever function that we want, and then we can just apply that to whatever PyKX object that we're interested in applying it to. In this case, we're going to take that first day prices Bitcoin vector that we just created earlier in this notebook, and we're going to apply an operation that multiplies each value by 5 to it. So you can take this and apply whatever custom function you want to your PyKX object. Okay, now let's learn about PyKX native functions. And these are functions to help us run those operations, manipulative operations, upon our PyKX objects more efficiently than we could do so with Pandas or with NumPy. So to learn more, check out the documentation. It gives a full overview of all the available PyKX native functions. But for the sake of this notebook, we're just going to go through a few of them to show you how you can use them yourself. So again, we're going to be working with that vector, first day prices, Bitcoin, and we may want to find what's the maximum value. Just like we did with the Pandas API, we can do this with our PyKX native functions. So this will give us our maximum value, our minimum value, our average value, our median value, how many values are within our vector, and then we could even do some sorting. So we can sort in an ascending order, and you could also do this in a descending order. So now we have applied our PyKX native functions to our PyKX object. Pause the video, try exercise 7, and reveal the solution to check your work. Okay, so let's take on a little bit more complex of a task to show how you can use this in practice. And to do that, what we're going to do is try to run some analytics between two different data sets and see what happens. And in fact, we're going to do a comparison between using Pandas and then using PyKX and see which one runs more efficiently. So to do this, what we're going to do is take our Bitcoin data set that we have in the sandbox available for you. We're going to import that by into a Pandas data frame using pd.readcsv and passing it that path. And then we have another data set, Ethereum, which is another cryptocurrency that we're going to read in as well into a data frame. So we're going to run that. It's going to take just a moment to run. And then we'll be able to explore that. But then we're going to do the same thing with a PyKX table. So we know we already have the Bitcoin data loaded, so we're just going to load the Ethereum data right here into a PyKX table. So what we will have is data frames to compare to PyKX tables. Okay, so now we have our Ethereum data set loaded, and currently PyKX is loading the Ethereum data set as well. So we have all we need now, and let's do a little bit of exploration to try to get an understanding of what is contained in these data sets. We can do table.shape to see how many rows are in the data set, and we can see, well, there's quite a few rows in here. In fact, let's see if that's the same as in the BTC. And sure enough, it is. Okay, perfect. So we know they're the same size, which is important. Now, let's create a PyKX vector of the first day of prices for Ethereum, just like we did for Bitcoin earlier on. So this will go ahead and give us a vector of first day prices for Ethereum. And this is a PyKX vector. And now let's see, is there a correlation between the first day prices for Bitcoin and the first day prices for Ethereum? And we're going to time how long it takes running it with PyKX and then how long it takes to run it using Pandas. Either way, we're going to be finding the same correlation, but we'll see that PyKX runs much faster than Pandas. And right here we have quite a drastic difference. It looks like basically, it takes half the time to run this in PyKX. And this is on only 1,440 entries. So what happens if we scale this up to the entire data set of 3.5 million rows? Well, let's see. Okay, so we got 7.3 or 7.53 milliseconds here and 65 milliseconds for the Pandas. So we have a great advantage by using PyKX to do these operations, and the advantage just gets larger and larger the larger that your data set is. All right, thank you. We'll see you in section 3.